the average woman is going to lose about 5% of their metabolic, basically engine, right? So the speed of their engine every decade after 20, right? So we have this natural slowing of our metabolic engine. You say, well, why is that happening? That doesn't seem to happen to men. And part of it is because estrogen in particular, so we have our three estrogens, estradiol, estriol, and estrone. Estradiol is the one that circulates, that's made by your ovaries. That's the protective one. Your fat cells make estrone. And through the detox pathways, we make estriol. So as we go through perimenopause into our 40s, that shift starts to happen where the body fat makes more estrone. It's more pro-inflammatory. It doesn't have the same protective effects. So what's interesting is it's all about having enough, not too much. It's kind of like the three little bears. So it's not, you don't want estrogen, because estrogen in a young woman, a 20 or 30-year-old, actually helps us stay lean, right? Helps us have our feminizing features, but it also helps us stay lean. But when we hit our 40s, we get too much estrogen because the other major hormone, progesterone, starts to decline. So that one's on the decline already. And so we end up with usually a little bit of estrogen dominance, and it's a less clean estrogen. Well, all of our mitochondria have receptors for estrogen. Because I kept looking at it, I kept thinking, well, a woman and a man can go on a diet, any diet really. And the guy goes, man, I gave up pizza and beer, and they drop like 10 pounds in a week. And the woman's like, okay, I had lettuce and a cold piece of dried chicken breast, and I'm starving to death, and nothing happened. Right. So there's a whole bunch of metabolic effects of being female that is different than a man. And part of it is because as a woman, here's the reality of it. If I can be a little bit crass, I don't think your listeners would hate this, but the reality is we need a bunch of women on the planet and a few men, and we will reproduce and have more people, right? So women are designed to conserve. Everything about our body is designed to try and hold on to body fat for fear of famine. Mm-hmm. And it's through those sex hormones and the signaling all the way down to our powerhouse, our mitochondria, that it happens. And so that's the first thing. It's like, and all the studies have been done on men up until very recently. And then some of those are really piss poor studies and they're terribly done. But everybody just assumes that we're hairy men, right? And so we're applying science that hasn't ever been done on women. And so nobody's really looking at our very basic mitochondrial function. There's changes because we have circulating changes of hormones.